After three incredible performances against one of the biggest punchers the heavyweight division has ever seen in Deontay Wilder in recent years, Tyson Fury has become one of the biggest names in boxing. And in the build-up to a huge 2023, Fury has suggested he may bring in an English football legend to help with his next camp. Today we're discussing Fury's plans to spar with Wayne Rooney and the fights which have defined him. Let's jump straight in with these plans to spar Rooney. With plans afoot to fight one Alexander Usyk sometime next year, Tyson Fury has suggested that he could be set to bring in Manchester United and England record goal scorer Wayne Rooney as his sparring partner. The Scouse legend is a huge boxing fan, and Rooney and his brothers all grew up in boxing gyms around their deprived council estate home in Croxteth, Liverpool. The area is known to produce some of the toughest people in England. In a bid to prepare for Usyk, Fury revealed that Rooney is up for helping him out, saying earlier this month, "We're going to bring Wayne in for preparation for Alexander Usyk. No, it's not a joke. Very serious. He's going to come into camp for about 4 weeks to help me." And Rooney recently had his say on the British boxing great, suggesting that he should be knighted for his services to boxing. The former Everton striker went on to reference Fury's willingness to go and fight abroad and that he epitomizes everything that boxing is. Fury believed he needs to spar with someone smaller, but everyone is smaller compared to him, revealing he grew up watching him as a youngster for England and United. Fury then encouraged Wayne to get on the blower to make arrangements. I mean, you would think as the WBC World Heavyweight Champion, Fury would be able to bring in some professional help, but who are we to judge? Are you guys Rooney fans? Some fights which define Fury's career now, starting with John McDermott. In his 8th bout as a professional, Fury took on English boxer John McDermott in Essex, England for the English heavyweight title. Fury would come away with the win, but many suggested that McDermott had actually won and there had been a robbery. One Guardian journalist was utterly disgusted by the decision and suggested that referee Terry O'Connor be banned from the sport for 6 months. And of course, it is the judges who decide the fights, so maybe the referee can feel a little hard done by. A watching Anthony Joshua in the crowd must have been licking his lips at the idea of potentially fighting Fury after seeing this performance from a young Gypsy King. Fury and McDermott would fight again the following summer, but Tyson wouldn't let his man off the hook so easily next time, stopping him in the 9th. The first fight can probably be seen as a bit of a turning point for Fury, who came into the bout weighing 270 pounds and clearly sluggish. The excess weight meant he would gas towards the later rounds, and in later fights would come in around a stone lighter. What it did prove to us, though, however, was that Tyson was willing to dig deep when it really mattered and had the minerals to go into deep waters with any opponent should he need to. Do you guys remember this one? Give us your thoughts on the fight below. Derek Chisora, number 1, is up next. Stay with us. Having just fought Chisora for a 3rd time earlier this month, it's safe to say Tyson's old mate holds a special place in his heart. The pair first came up against one another for the first time back in July 2011 at Wembley Arena, facing off for the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles. Easily the biggest fight of his career to date. Fury would increase his record to 15-0 with the unanimous decision victory over Del Boy and would simultaneously announce himself as one of the biggest heavyweight prospects in world boxing. He seriously outclassed Chisora using his jab to keep him at a distance, which ultimately resulted in Derek losing his unbeaten record that summer's evening. He would also lose a lot of credibility considering how easy Tyson made it look, and not only was the fight a defining one for Fury, but for Chisora as well, who would lose 3 of his next 4 and struggle for consistency over the rest of his career. Putting himself on the radar of one Vladimir Klitschko was the big win over Chisora. The Ukrainian would reveal that he would probably fight the winner at some point down the line, which turned out to be true, but more on that one in a bit. What did you guys make of the first Chisora fight? Give us your thoughts below. Next up is Steve Cunningham. This one was significant because it taught us and Tyson that he was able to pick himself up off the canvas, dust himself off, and win a fight. Cunningham, clearly smaller than the Gypsy King, was as tough as they come and had previously served in the United States Navy. In the 2nd round, Fury failed to telegraph a massive overhand right from Cunningham and was knocked down, which resulted in a 10-8 round for the American. Having previously vowed to smash Cunningham's face, Fury finally got going in the 6th round, having arguably lost each previous round except the 1st. Into the 7th, and Tyson would finish the job, first by buttering his man up with a massive body shot, and then a big right hook against the ropes to see off a very game Steve Cunningham. After the fight, he said, "You can't go swimming and not get wet. I got caught with a big swinging right hand, and if you did not see them coming, then you will go down." Fury moved on to 21-0 with the win and edged closer to a showdown with the big boys. The grit and determination Fury has so often shown in his fights was clearly on display against Cunningham, who couldn't have done much more to stop the big Brit if truth be told. Do you guys remember the Cunningham fight? Let us know what you think below. We're talking Vladimir Klitschko now. Stay right there. Arguably Tyson Fury's greatest ever performance in the boxing ring. He came up against all-time great Vladimir Klitschko in Dusseldorf back back in 2015 and put on a performance for the ages. The fight signaled a passing of the torch in the truest sense of the phrase, as Fury outmaneuvered, outboxed, and outclassed the veteran Ukrainian. Klitschko hadn't been beaten for 11 years coming into the fight and offered a wealth of experience, and at 39 years old had shown very little sign of slowing down. However, he was quite simply exposed by Tyson, who won the fight via unanimous decision. Few people had predicted Tyson Fury would have the smarts needed to overcome somewhat of Klitschko's standing before the bout, but he proved all of his doubters wrong and flourished on the night, taking Klitschko deep into the trenches. The British fighter quite sensibly turned the spectacle into a real dogfight, and Klitschko had no answers. This was the fight that really announced Tyson Fury on the world stage, as he stripped the Ukrainian of his WBA Super, IBF, WBO, IBO, and the ring heavyweight titles. And it would be no stretch to suggest that this was the fight that truly defined Tyson as a boxer and as a man. You probably remember him belting out Aerosmith's 1998 classic, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, after the fight, revealing the true showman we all knew was in there. Where does this one rank for you? Sefer Seferi is coming through now. You may wonder why someone like Sefer Seferi features on a list of fights that define Tyson Fury's career, but it's for what it symbolizes more than the actual fight and level of opposition he offered. Following the epic Klitschko win, it's safe to say Tyson's personal life spiraled out of control somewhat, and after bouts of substance abuse and serious mental health issues, Fury was in a very dark place. Around the time of the Seferi fight, he appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast and revealed that the period after the Klitschko fight was the darkest of his life, and he was even close to ending it all by driving his car off a bridge. Fury's weight had ballooned to 28 stone during this period, but with the help of trainer Ben Davidson, he was able to get his life back together and return to the ring against the Albanian. The fight itself wasn't really up to much, and at one point the two men actually stopped to watch a fight in the crowd. However, the main thing was that Tyson was once again in a boxing ring, and the fourth round stoppage was simply a bonus. A dud of a fight, but a really significant moment for Fury. Do you guys remember this one? And finally, it's Wilder 2. Tyson had defied the laws of physics and seemingly gravity by rising from the canvas in the pair's first fight, which ended in a draw. So the second was one of the most highly anticipated fights of this century, and Tyson Fury absolutely dominated. The Gypsy King delivered a boxing lesson for the ages and showed one of the biggest punchers of this generation what true power was by knocking him out in the seventh. In decisively beating Wilder, Tyson won the WBC and vacant The Ring heavyweight titles. Having been denied 14 months earlier in a fight, he also dominated in large parts. Wilder had poked the bear by suggesting that Tyson was nothing more than a feather duster, but the big Brit showed that he could bang with the best of them in devastating fashion. Wilder would go on to seriously embarrass himself after the fight by claiming that he was tired because his walkout costume was too heavy, which was one of the most hilarious excuses for losing a fight we've ever heard. But Tyson was just a class apart on that night, and he proved to the world there was a new sheriff in town. He would go on to back it up by again knocking Wilder out 20 months later. Give us your thoughts on the Wilder trilogy below. As usual, thanks for dropping in on us today, and remember to swing by again next time for some more fun and games. And why not do us a big favor by liking and sharing today's video, whilst also subscribing to our channel. Bye guys!